Alright, we're going to make a file to make a little keepsake box similar to this. So right here, so that we can use the CNC router to cut it out. The overall dimensions here are going to be 4 inches across, 4 inches down, and then this will be 3/4, and this will also be 3/4. So the overall height here, when you put this box, will be just under 1.5 inches, as this will sit inside this box. But this is going to be a 3/4 inch piece right here. So let's get going on this. So I'm going to start a new sketch, and I'm going to make sure I'm on the bottom plane here. And I'm actually going to use a center point rectangle, and I'm going to make it 4 by 4. Pretty simple. And finish that sketch, and I'm going to press E for extrude, and I'm going to extrude this to 3/4 of an inch. I can put 3/4, or I can type in 0.75. Either way, it will be the same. Alright, now I'm also going to create a sketch on this, and I'm going to also do a center point rectangle right here in the middle. And I believe here, 3 by 3, that'll give me, it's an inch shorter, that means this will be a 1/2 inch right now, and another 1/2 inch right here on each side. So I'm going to finish that sketch, and I'm actually going to extrude this down then, let's go a -1/2 inch. Alright, now I need a bottom and a top to my keepsake box. So the easiest way to do that is I'm actually going to construct an offset plane off the side of here, and I'm going to offset that just 1/4 of an inch, and I can mirror this. So I'm going to go to my mirror, and I'm going to mirror my body, and then select my mirror plane, and this is my mirror plane, and press OK. Now I don't want this plane here, so I'm going to hide my construction line. Alright, so now we need to kind of make the little indent here for the lid here to fit inside my bottom. So to do this, I'm going to start a new sketch, and I'm actually going to sketch the top of this, and I'm going to offset this line. So I'm going to go to Modify and Offset, or I can press O, and I'm going to offset this a -0.219. Been playing with these numbers, and these ones seem to work. Finish that sketch. I'm also going to sketch on the top of this box, my lid here, and I'm going to offset that as well, and I'm going to offset that -0.17. You can't offset these the exact same amount, otherwise they won't fit. If you had a 1-inch cylinder and a 1-inch hole and you try to stick it in, it wouldn't fit because they're the exact same size. So your hole needs to be slightly bigger than that 1-inch cylinder. So this is 0.219, this is 0.17. With the differences in the machine and how it machines it, it should fit nicely, like a nice friction fit. So I'm going to finish that sketch, and now I'm going to extrude this down. Let's do 0.25, -0.25. Alright, so now this is still 3/4 of an inch. Now for this side, I actually need to extrude the outside portion down, and I'm going to extrude that 0.25 as well. I believe let me think about this here. Alright, let me go back to my dimensions here. I don't remember if that was my right size. 0.25. So I believe I'm actually going to extrude this down 0.3. So let me go to edit that feature, and I want actually -0.3. Alright, now this is going to be my lid, and I want to actually put a design in the top of the lid here. So I'm actually going to, I could leave this a little bit down, but I'm going to actually extrude this back up 0.2. That'll give me even. That'll give me a little bit thicker of a lid, so that if I want to put a decorative design on the top of my lid here, which this will be the top, that'll give me a little bit extra room and strength, so I'm not kind of making that. Alright, so that should be it. Now, when my 1/4 inch bit goes to cut this out, it can't cut it inside 90 degrees because it's a round bit, can't cut a perfect 90 degree. So to kind of make sure this one, it would make a corner fit. It could make a 90-degree outside corner, but that won't fit very well on an inside edge. So I'm going to fillet my inside corners to the radius of my bit that I'm going to use. I know I'm going to use a 1/4 inch bit because that's what I like to use, and I have a lot of them. They work well. So I'm going to select all my inside corners, and I'm going to fillet that 0.25. Make sure I got them all. Okay. Now I'm going to select all my outside corners, and I'm going to put a fillet on all my outside corners as well, even these ones here, just because I don't want a super sharp cut of a corner. So I'm going to select every outside corner up here as well, and I'm going to do a 0.25 1/4 inch, and there is my box. Alright, I'm going to make sure I save this. I'm going to save it, and I'm going to call it Keepsake Box. In my location, I'm going to put it in my folder for my CNC router. I think I already have one. Alright, so let's go to milling it. So I'm going to go to manufacture. I'm going to make sure my units are in inches, and I'm going to go to my setup. And I'm going to choose the bottom left-hand corner on this because I'll have my stock. And select both models. And for the stock, I'm not going to add, I want to take my top offset off because I'm going to start with a 3/4 inch piece. And then my outside, I just want a little bit. It doesn't matter too much, but that way it'll let me do a contour around it. So there's my setup. I'm going to do a 2D pocket now. So for my tool, I'm going to use a compression, a 1/4 inch compression bit. So to kind of find that, I'm in Speed Tool Fusion file here, and I'm going to go down. I'm looking for compression. So here's a 1/4 inch compression spile bit, and then I'm also going to actually select right from here hardwood. If I don't do that, I can also put this right here. I don't have any coolant. I'm going to shut that off. For my geometry now, I'm going to select my top, the bottom of my lid. I'm going to select this. I'm going to select this portion and this. Pretty simple. For my heights, I don't need to adjust anything there. For my passes, I don't want to cut all this in one, so I like doing 1/8 of an inch at a time. Takes a little bit longer, but this is relatively small, won't take too long. For my linking, I'm going to shut off my lead in and lead out. Don't need that. For my ramp type, the helix doesn't work well with the Patriot machine, so I'm going to just do a simple plunge. You could also do a zigzag as well. Zigzag works pretty well. Press OK. It should make my toolpath here, and it should take roughly, just under 6 minutes. Alright, now I need also cut the outside of this. So I'm going to do a 2D contour for that. My bit, it's going to remember the same bit from last time, and that's what I'm going to use. It's going to be a compression bit, 1/4 inch. For my geometry, so I don't need to change any settings because it's the same settings as my pocket. For my geometry, I'm going to select the bottom of each, and I'll cut that out. Heights, don't need to do anything. Passes, I'm going to do multiple depths again, and I'm going to set this again to a 1/4 inch or 0.125. Linking, there's nothing else I need to do here. I can shut off my lead in and lead out as well. Press OK, and this should be a 1 minute long. And now I can simulate these by right-clicking, choose simulate, and I can watch the process it's going to do to cut this out. And I can also simulate the contour if I wanted as well. But I'm going to select both. I'm going to press Control. I can post-process both of them together because I'm using the same bit. So I'm going to select Control to select both. I'm going to go to Actions, and I'm going to post-process. For my machine, you're going to have to choose whatever machine you're using. If you're using a Techno 2, the HD2, or if you're using a Patriot, either one. Or if you have a different machine, you're going to select that machine. I'm going to name it Keepsake Box, and then choose your output folder. I'm just going to select my downloads for now. Machine type, if you're doing the HD2, make sure this says HD2 series. And then I can't see it, but it's right there, so, and I can't select it, but if I press enter, it'll post. and it's posted successfully. And then I will make another video here on how to make a little toolpath to create a design onto that box.